oftentimes in life we're always in a rush. If you can just articulate your problems, half the solution त्यही नै हुन्छ क्या.
I don't think we've talked about therapy in the podcast. It's like having a small pebble in your shoe हुन्छ नि. सानो pebble मात्रै हो तर like if you have to walk a mile in that shoes, it's probably gonna
hurt.
And
त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ you have this multiple personalities telling you different things, which might not be true.
To actually like get to the root of some problems, you have to like do some internal work without any judgment, without any biasness. Hi everyone, I'm Kritisha.
And I am Aditya.
And welcome to Dhikichyau the Podcast. This is episode 37. And we are really glad to be back after a
very long time
hiatus.
Yes, very, very long time.
So, what's up?
A lot and nothing at the same time.
Wow, starting off on a very philosophical mood.
Okay, I think your age ma everybody has like there's a lot going on, but there's not really things that's going on. Because at this point of life, a lot of us are just figuring a lot of things out.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things like starting ma धेरै कुरा भइरा हुन्छ के तर कुनै पनि कहीँ पनि पुगे हुँदैन. So like how do you define it? So it's not like there's something actually going on, but there's a lot
Maybe
of things.
We can call that work in progress.
Yeah, we're all work in progress throughout life.
Hi.
Yeah.
Like कुन चाहिँ एजमा पुगेर चाहिँ like yeah like I have it figured out भन्ने चाहिँ कहिले चाहिँ हुन्छ होला के.
I don't think there comes any age. One thing I've realized, like I made break लिँदा खेरि talking to a lot of people, talking to mostly older people in their 30s, अनि दिदीहरुसँग दाइहरुसँग कुरा गर्दाखेरि they always tell you the same thing, like nobody has it figured out. Like, I feel the same way like I felt in my 20s, especially in today's day and age.
Yeah.
So I think we're all work in progress.
And after some point like you'll sort of like choose something and decide to stick to it चाहिँ होला जस्तो लाग्छ.
But that's one part of life, Nita. I know. Maybe you choose one partner and then stick to it. Maybe you'll choose one job and then stick to it. So एउटा brief moment हरुको लागि चाहिँ you might feel like things are figured out. And like that can feel very static. Static भन्नाले राम्रो. Static त is static and aesthetic.
Aesthetic?
I know, like
progressive.
That might feel like okay, really
stagnant,
nice.
You don't mean stagnant.
I don't mean stagnant. Okay? So when in those brief moments where you feel like things are all slowly falling into place, you might feel extremely happy. But then
after some point you get like bored and monotonous.
Yeah.
So earlier we might be facing like quarter life crisis, and after some times like yeah I figured it out khaleको and त्यसपछि अर्को after some time it's like midlife crisis khaleके.
But I feel like to figure out everything in life there is going to be hard, and like even if you do figure out all aspects of life, it's not going to last forever. Because एकछिनको लागि you figure things out for that brief moment हुन्छ नि, but things are always constantly changing. So is तिम्रो everything in your life.
So are you.
So are you, exactly.
Yeah. So I think like the time we took off khali हुन्छ नि has been sort of like in a way a reflective.
Yeah.
Like time to reflect भनौँ न. Because for so long we did so many episodes, we did so many podcast episodes with so many people, like got to know about so many stories हुन्छ नि. अनि त्यो ब्रेकमा चाहिँ it's like sort of like took time to like sink in, like त्यो marinate हुन टाइम लिएको जस्तो खाले. अनि कतिवटा कुरा चाहिँ हुन्छ नि त्यो ब्रेकमा चाहिँ I sort of like would relate to things that we talked about in the podcast. In the podcast, after the podcast, and it was sort of like a reflective time.
Definitely. So what I feel like is oftentimes in life, we're always in a rush of doing things, achieving things. So like one thing is done, then we're up to the next. Another thing is done, then we're up to the next. अनि that keeps us busy, that keeps us sane in some parts, I know.
Right.
I think that was the same thing
coping
with
mechanism, you mean?
kind of. I think that was the same with when we were doing podcast, because like we really wanted to dive into certain topics and like get to know about the topic khale.
Right.
अनि हामी चाहिँ जहिले पनि अब एउटा एपिसोड सिधेपछि then you have this mental pressure of like creating content, being consistent, अनि then हुन्छ नि on to the next episode, then you're on to the next episode. अनि तर त्यो प्रिभियस एपिसोडहरू जुन चाहिँ भएको हुन्छ नि त्यसलाई त्यो म्यारिनेट हुन सिङ्क इन हुन टाइमै पाएको हुँदैन क्या, टु एक्चुअली अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड द थिङ्स द्याट वी टक अबाउट, द थिङ्स द्याट वी हियर, थिङ्स द्याट वी लिसन फ्रम आवर गेस्टहरू हुन्छ नि त्यो कुराहरू चाहिँ इट सिप्स इन, इट टेक्स टाइम टु सिप इन क्या. अनि फेरि लाइक तिमीलाई नलेज चाहिँ हुन्छ ल उहाँले केही भन्नुभयो अरे ल तिमीले केही भन्यो होइन, तिमीले त्यो भन्यो, इट स्टेज इन माई हेड, बट अन्टिल एन्ड अनलेस समथिङ
happens that resonates that situation, it doesn't really come back. They once and like if you read a book early, like it's gonna 5 years down the line matra it'll like sink in and it'll like come to action once again, the books you read now. So it's like give yourself 5 years to actually like incorporate that once again.
Yep.
Because like I said अघि भर्खर पनि हुन्छ नि कतिवटा कुरा चाहिँ यो 6 months or like यो time period मा चाहिँ बिस्तारै you reflected back. अनि I think today is all about how important reflection is. And how important it is to like sit back with your thoughts, with yourself, and sort of like analyze what has been happening khale.
But also to understand what you really want to do also, okay? So oftentimes what happens is in our society we're not encouraged to reflect, we're always encouraged to
plan,
just walk khale ke बुझ्यो, like हुन्छ नि we're not, हाम्रो अहिलेको जेनेरेसनमा चाहिँ we're not encouraged or promoted to just like take some rest,
break.
हुन्छ नि
Why do you need के रे your gap, like go continue master गरेर सकाइदिहाल्नु
सकाइदिहाल्नु खाले के. So we're always on this rush हुन्छ नि, अब एउटा कुरा सिद्धिनु पाएको छैन, सपोज अब हुन्छ नि स्कुल सकिनु पाएको छैन, you're on to college सकिनु पाएको छैन, you're on to the next, and you don't have the time to process के what I'm studying or what I'm doing, the work I'm doing, the job I have हुन्छ नि, is this what I really want to do खाले के. Because तिमीले कहिले पनि त्यो sit back गरेर त्यो सोचेकै हुँदैन के, त्यो टाइमै पाउँदैन, अनि हामीले त्यो इन्करेज पनि गर्दैन के, and you just like go with the flow in some sense हुन्छ नि, and you just keep moving, you're always in this hurry, you're always in this rush.
One of the things मलाई त्यो सिप इन भएको वाला was what we talked about with Ravi Dai हुन्छ नि, how you numb your pain खालेको.
Yep.
So like I feel very kasto I don't feel very good about where I am, but like I meet my friends, I go out for drinks, I go out for dinner, and then I numb the pain हुन्छ नि. You don't sit with your pain के. अनि like he's said त्यति बेला हुन्छ नि pain is one of the most important भन्दा नि most के भन्ने like change गर्नको लागि चाहिँ pain is one of the most important elements भन्छ नि त. अनि त्यो चाहिँ like मलाई हल्का.
So to go back into exactly what he said was हुन्छ नि हाम्रो चाहिँ like the whole work scenario is built in such a way that okay 9 to 5 you work 9 to 5 and you work 5-6 days a week, then you have this like ठक्क जब मान्छेहरू break down हुन थालेको बेला चाहिँ you have this टक्क weekend where people can relax and they can intoxicate themselves or like meet with friends and just like doze off हुन्छ नि. So त्यो pain numb the pain. So त्यो जुन पेन हुन्छ नि, द डिससेटिस्फ्याक्सन अफ वाट एभर देयर डुइङ थ्रु आउट द विक, त्यो एउटा पिकमा पुग्नु थाले हुन्छ, अनि फेरि द विकेन्ड कम्स, देन दे क्यान नम द पेन, देन अगेन त्यो पिकमा पुग्नु थाले हुन्छ, देन अगेन द विकेन्ड कम्स, अनि योमा चाहिँ you're again like stuck in the loop के.
So even if you're like dissatisfied with your work, you're not being able to take any actions against it because you've been like numbing the pain that can actually help you get out of it खाले के. So that was one thing that I was able to reflect on khali.
But also about hustle culture oily. So now our generation is just so into they glorify overworking, grind 24/7 all the time, like your time to full grind गर्नु पर्छ, 20s is the grinding time खाली हुन्छ नि. So like त्यो एकदमै thoughtlessly we just keep on grinding के whatever makes money, whatever gives you that social status हुन्छ नि जे गरे पनि chase हुन्छ के without like taking a moment and on is that what I truly want खाली
or is it just like the thrill of the chase
अनि I think त्यो त्यही त क्या the overworking thing is like कस्तो glorified हुन्छ नि the 5 a.m. club or like the 97 the top 1% the 1% mentality. So if you listen to all these gurus or motivational gurus or they're not giving you actual concrete business tips or business ideas. What they're selling is like a CEO mentality or like a winner mindset. And there's like winners don't quit, like winners don't stop. You gotta grind 24/7. Like go. Like even if like your body tells you to stop, your mind you have to tell your mind to like go khale.
Yeah.
And I don't think, man, that just is not where we should be heading the Salaksage.
Yeah. There, and also like I think we also have to address the fact that this conversation is from a point of privilege.
Yeah, it is.
Because like some of the people, most of the people, they don't have an option.
Yep.
Like you have to work because you have to like make your ends meet.
Yeah.
So also addressing the fact that we are speaking from a point of privilege where we have the option to, like not exactly grind to like
to
have
just
the
make ends
food on
meet.
your table.
So obviously we're coming from a point of privilege.
So let's go back, like what's happening in your life
right now?
Like the past kati time?
6 months. So basically why we decided to take a break was I lost both my grandparents, and at the same time I was also applying for my master's baira, and it was all getting a little too much. And at that point of time, say to focus on creating content was not the highest of priorities. I wanted to take a step back and at least like think about, is this like what is up next? Do I want to get into the work market? Do I want to join the family business? Or do I want to continue my further studies? Like personally, decisions are banaunu धेरै कुराहरु थियो. And like that was the point where we decided to, I think we should like take a break. And then maybe like focus on our personal stuff. And I think like that 5-6 months whatever was really, really, really important to just put pieces in place.
Right.
Because at हामी जति बेला चाहिँ ब्रेक लिने हो like whole life नै messy हुन थाल्छ यो के हुन्छ नि, like trying to juggle too many things at the same time, like हुन्छ नि none of it was going accordingly. So at that point of time just needed some break to at least put things into place.
Do you say you're in a better place now?
Definitely, yeah. And that is like हुन्छ नि the के भन्ने importance of taking a break and just like looking at your own life from a third person's view and seeing like तिम्रो priorities हरु चाहिँ के हो, तिमीलाई मन परेको अर गर्नु मन लागेको काममा चाहिँ तिमीले इम्पोर्टेन्स दिइरा छौ कि छैनौ हुन्छ नि, like are you doing things that are necessary, हैन, like त्यो चाहिँ कस्तो into perspective आयो के, and then slowly working into things that really matter. हैन अनि
मलाई पनि it's like work had been a priority and it had to be a priority at that point ke मलाई पनि. So I think took a break from content creation and like took some time to understand work more, भनौं न, to dive into more say was I think a fruitful decision for work. And also like I don't think we've talked about therapy in the podcast, but like therapy also sort of like helped भनौं न in a way, because मलाई चाहिँ for some reason it was always like I was always pro therapy हुन्छ नि, तर like I was like हैन, I think I don't need it right now. I think I'll reach one breaking point and then join therapy. And one of my friends was like, bro, like you don't have to really break down to get into therapy. It's just like going to gym, you don't have to get physically sick हुन्छ नि लाइक
एकदमै
डायग्नोज नै
unhealthy,
गर्नुपर्ने पछि मात्र डक्टरकोमा जानु पर्दैन नि त यु क्यान अलवेज लाइक गो
डक्टरले
चेकअपको लागि or like स्टफको लागि
नभने जसम्म people don't usually go to the gym.
Until it gets worse हुन्छ नि you don't have to wait for it to get worse to seek help खालिको अनि I think it was a good decision for me to like join therapy. I think it's been like 7-8 months होला मेरो त therapy भएको.
मेरो चाहिँ like influenced by her also. म पनि like it was a similar thing के I never felt like I was somebody who needed therapy. But I was always like pro therapy त थियो हैन. But I was like therapy चाहिन्छ र खाली हुन्छ नि मलाई त like I'm like good, I can handle my stuff जस्तो हुने हैन. But then
once you go to therapy it's like not really feeling that is
yeah. I think because we live in this defense mechanism खाली हुन्छ नि त आफ्नो आफ्नै अनि like you have this आफ्नै त्यो cheerleader mentality हुन्छ नि sometimes you don't want to you know but this the voice in your head is like nah it's alright like you got this हुन्छ नि like even if there is things that's bothering you you tend not to attend to that and just like go on with your day
you overestimate your potential भनौँ न in that way I did
अनि फेरि like त्यो के भन्ने unaddressed कुराहरू चाहिँ पछाडि at the back of your head pile up हुँदै जान्छ के हैन so even if at the front you're going about your day and you like you're normal and everything like त्यो pile up भएको कुराहरू चाहिँ बिस्तारै हन्ट गर्दै आउँछ के
and it's like हुन्छ नि minor thing त हो जस्तो लाग्छ but that minor thing like constantly bug गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ it's like problematic के
yup
it's like having a small pebble in your shoe हुन्छ नि सानो pebble मात्रै हो तर like if you have to walk a mile in that shoes it's probably gonna hurt
so म चाहिँ I joined therapy after we decided to take a break therapy जानु थालेपछि I realized like there's so many issues that had to be addressed अनि for the most part चाहिँ अब I would get by so most part say we basically as humans we think by speaking. I think I've said this in the podcast multiple times.
Most people do.
Yeah, because we have a lot of things going in our head अनि हामीले यसै चुप लाएर सोच्यो मात्र भनि पनि it's like it's too many things like confused के so if तिमीले त्यही दिमागमा भएको कुराहरू if you can put it into words and see it because it's like it's out there once it gets into words like out of your mind and into the air so you can put it into sentences and then if you can just articulate your problems half the solution त्यही नै हुन्छ के हैन but then so most of the time say what we tend to do is we tend to pour out our problems to our loved ones or people who are willing to listen but then that is also alikati heavy ke
right
you know sometimes it can be very heavy stuff that you want to talk about only like timle jab चाहिँ when you tell them to your loved ones obviously they want to listen but then like हुन्छ नि it is another burden to them
also to add on to that it's a burden to them but then also like उनीहरूले दिने advice can be biased के
yeah
हुन्छ नि so it's not like yeah obviously that's what friends are for हुन्छ नि like you meet them like आफ्नो कुरा share गर्यो they're going to share their things and all of that but then like to actually like get to the root of some problems हुन्छ नि you have to like do some internal work without any judgment without any biasness हुन्छ नि because कतिवटा साथीहरुसँग कुरा गर्दाखेरि पनि it's like
you fear
of judgment हुन्छ नि अब it's just like complex के
अनि obviously it is and the fear of judgment is there and most of the time say the problems you are having in your life can be related to the people you share things with हुन्छ नि you can be having girlfriend problems and the person you share it to is your girlfriend so obviously you're gonna like cut out on the things that actually are hurting you and you're just gonna like हुन्छ नि tell them अलिकति मिलाएर खाली के but then त्यो नमिलाएको कुराहरू चाहिँ are the things that's gonna haunt you
yeah तर I think that's one of the thing I got out of therapy हुन्छ नि because that particular problem चाहिँ is on communication gap के like communication चाहिँ like राम्रो नभएपछि हो के so like therapy मा चाहिँ I did a lot of work on addressing the problem हुन्छ नि so there are certain ways you can talk to अब suppose तिम्रो girlfriend सँगै problem भइरहेछ नि how you talk to her हुन्छ नि so you don't use you के
us
no it's not us के it's like you have to talk about how what she did made you feel के. So it's like तिमीले यस्तो गरेर म यस्तो तिमीले यस्तो गरेर तिमीले मलाई यति बेला कराएर this is why हुन्छ नि I'm so helpless or like I'm so miserable हैन कि like when you did this like I felt this way. So मलाई यसले गर्दा चाहिँ अलिअलि प्रब्लम भइरहेको छ.
तिमीले गर्दा चाहिँ हैन कि तिमीले एक्सन गर्दा this is how I perceived it.
Yeah, this was your action but this is what happened to me खाले के. Because like you don't like त्यो चाहिँ अलिकति डिफेन्सिभ हुन्छ क्या when you use the you word हुन्छ नि तैँले गर्दा यस्तो भयो तैँले गर्दा म यस्तो भए हुन्छ नि.
Because then it starts by like you did this.
Yeah, that's very defensive.
There's like pointing fingers.
Yeah, it's very pointing fingers. So like you don't use you words, okay? You use like I felt this way, हुन्छ नि. So there are like different techniques हरु रहेछ के. अनि अब that can be an entire episode on its own हैन. तर like there are different ways of like communications के like so because these difficult conversations that they need to happen ni ta like you said huncha ni like त्यो जुन कुराहरु चाहिँ you cut out those are the things that haunt you and because it's not addressed it's going to carry over to some other arguments that you're going to have okay so it's better that huncha ni even though it's like अति नै minute कुरा भए पनि if you can communicate it well if you can negotiate where to draw the line and like create the boundary then it becomes a healthy communication and a healthy relationship khale
But we can't expect everybody to be on that level. Ekachoti in the,
yeah.
Because there's a lot of work to be done, and I feel like therapy le kotha chai help garcha bhanda theri it helps you figure out how to communicate better. So like there is something a certain incident happened and you're very upset about it, huncha ni. And obviously if you lash out to the person that you're upset about, it might that might not be the right intent. के तिमीले उनीहरुलाई हर्ट गर्नु खोजे त हैन त तिमीलाई राम्ररी भन्नु आको छैन सो तिमीले त्यसरी भन्यो भने इट्स गोना हर्ट देम and it might not end the way you want it to end
right.
So त्यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ लाइक थेरेपी कहाँ आउँछ भने चाहिँ you can lash out हुन्छ नि tell
in
everything
in a more
productive way with the therapist and then figure the situation out in a better way so you can put it in a better package and then talk to them like ramrari just like you said हुन्छ नि so त्यो हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ it also prevents your relationships
to go down from drains.
Yeah, to go down the drains.
Yeah.
Because most of the times it's not the actual intent. Most of the times people don't want to fight.
Yeah. Intentions कसैलाई hurt गर्ने हुँदैन. It's just like you just have to.
त्यो communication गर्नु नआएर or like emotions हरु राम्ररी control गर्नु नआएर चाहिँ हुन्छ नि gets a bit shaky.
Yeah.
And त्यो भएर चाहिँ like therapy has been very
therapeutic.
Very therapeutic. Yeah.
I know to add on to that मलाई चाहिँ अब because I did like therapy for like कति months हैन अनि we reached a point where I was like you know like I don't want to depend on therapy अनि obviously my therapist was also like how long do you want to continue therapy हुन्छ नि because therapist हरुको चाहिँ goal नै is to make the client self sufficient so they can like leave therapy के it's never like it's never a goal to like keep your clients coming back ke?
Yeah
it's the goal is to like huncha ni make them self sufficient ke ani malai चाहिँ like I mean I took a break a month or so in between ani त्यतिबेला चाहिँ it wasn't an intentional break ke मेरो therapist चाहिँ he had some family issues अनि के भएर he had to like take a break अनि covid and all of that भइरा थियो नि त अनि त्यतिबेला चाहिँ what I started doing was I started journaling ke so whatever I would say to my therapist, I would write it down. And when you write your thoughts down, somewhere down the line, it just doesn't make sense. मेरो त्यो journal गरेको लेखेको पेपरहरु हेर्यो भने like it just doesn't make sense because there are like 10 different people saying 10 different things at the same time
and like none of it might be true.
Yeah, so some of it is like probably like overthinking हुन्छ नि compulsively overthink गरेको हुन सक्छ कुनै अनि कुनै कुराहरु चाहिँ might be repetitive के मैले आज जर्नल गरे त्यो कुरा comes up भोलि जर्नल गरे त्यो कुरा comes up 1 month पछि जर्नल गरे फेरि that कुरा comes up and you sort of see a pattern in your own journaling
then you can trace down like कहाँबाट चाहिँ originate भइराको हो because most of those तिमीले भनेको कुराहरु हुन्छ नि it usually feel like stems from insecurities fear fear of abandonment and fear of judgment what other people will think and त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ you have this multiple personalities telling you different things हैन which might not be true. But obviously, like, you have people living in your head, so
yeah. And I think like I was able to journal well because म journal त पहिलादेखि नै गर्थेँ हैन, तर I was able to journal well because therapy sessions मा चाहिँ I was asked the right questions के. Like हुन्छ नि अब for an example अब like I feel like अब I'm such a people pleaser, I'm हुन्छ नि like अति नै materialistic यस्तो यस्तो भन्नु भन्यो हैन, अनि my therapist would be like, who gave you that message? हुन्छ नि because when you're born you're never born with an idea that हुन्छ नि म चाहिँ यस्तो मान्छे हो, or like हुन्छ नि म चाहिँ अति नै like people pleaser हो, or like म अति नै materialistic मान्छे हो भनेर दिमागमा त लिएर त आएको हुँदैन नि त. You hear it somewhere as you grow up हुन्छ नि. Maybe like बच्चा हुँदाखेरि because you were like into अब I don't know fancy stuff, कस्तो materialistic यार तिमी त यस्तो छ भने, and then you hear that repetitively and then that becomes a message in your head के. अनि it's okay if it plays in your favor, but some of the messages that stay in you are like very self-deprecating ke.
Yeah, I think like the negatives stay more than the positives.
Yeah. त्यही त. अनि त्यस्तो कुराहरू चाहिँ त्यो थेरापीमा राइट टाइममा क्वेसन गरेकोहरू चाहिँ इट्स लाइक हेल्प्ड मी हुन्छ नि, बिकज त्यही क्वेसन्स आई स्टार्टेड क्वेसनिङ माइसेल्फ के.
Yeah, there comes reflection again.
Yeah.
And then you're reflecting on where those insecurities in your head like stemmed from.
Yeah.
Because most of the time the kasto pani huncha bhandakheri हैन, the people, it's usually you create your value by how other people value you.
Yeah.
हैन, अनि it's usually अब कसैले हुन्छ नि मोस्टली बच्चामा हुँदाखेरि त रिलेटिभ्सहरूले नै भनेको कुराहरूले क्या हिट गर्छ अनि द्याट स्टेज के पछिसम्म. अब बच्चामा उनीहरूले लाइक हुन्छ नि अब त्यस्तो हर्ट गर्नु खोजेर त भने होइन होला, तर होइन बाबु त कस्तो मोटे टाइपको भन्यो भने हुन्छ नि, अनि अभियसली देयर इन्टेन्ट इज नट लाइक द्याट, तर तिम्रो माइन्ड चाहिँ इट विल प्लेज लाइक म त मोटे खाले हुन्छ नि.
ब्रो आई हैव ह्याड दैट इन्सिडेन्ट वन्स यार.
जस्ट वन्स.
वान चाहिँ एकदमै लाइक सिग्निफिकेन्टली भएको हुन्छ नि. आई वेन्ट टु सम रिलेटिभ्स प्लेस होइन, अनि आई वाज वेयरिङ सोर्ट्स क्या बच्चा हुँदाखेरि सोर्ट्स लगाएर गएको थिएँ, अनि पुरा अब लाइक हुन्छ नि आनन्दले मस्तले फ्याँ परेर बसिरहेको थियो हुन्छ नि, पोलिटिक कसेर यहाँ गरेर बसिरहेको थियो. अनि एकजना अङ्कल आएर लाइक तिम्रो त थाइस क्या ठुलो यार भनेर हाँसिदिरहेको कि, लाइक मुखैमा हाँसिदिरहेको कि. अनि त्यसपछि चाहिँ आई स्टार्टेड नोटिसिङ क्या ल लाइक कम्पेयर टु अर्को मान्छेहरू अरू केटीहरू मेरो त थाइस ठुलो रहेछ खाले क्या. अनि त्यो सानो कुरा के. अब आई डोन्ट नो उसलाई चाहिँ खोइ के माइन्डसेटमा थियो, आई डोन्ट नो हि वाज ह्याभिङ अ गुड डे हो कि वाज ह्याभिङ अ ब्याड डे हो कि के हो थाहा छैन. हि जस्ट मेड द्याट कमेन्ट क्या, अनि जस्ट लाइक स्टेड विथ मी क्या. अनि द्याट सोर्ट अफ लाइक लेड टु अ लट अफ हुन्छ नि लाइक कम्पेरिजन खालेको हुन्छ नि.
बट लाइक वान थिङ यु हेभ टु अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड इज लाइक यस्तो कमेन्ट्सहरू तिमी लाइफभरि लाइक पाइरहेको छ क्या. अनि अभियसली अब त्यो जो जताबाट तिमी रिसिभ गरेर हुन्छ नि उनीहरूको इन्टेन्ट राम्रो होस् नराम्रो होस् वाट एभर इट इज एक्सटर्नल थिङ्स क्या, बट हाउ यु रियाक्ट टु इट or how you they process it is what makes all the difference.
Yeah, definitely. But one thing also that we have to consider is like त्यो त now that we're adults, now that we can like make decisions for ourselves, we can make that decision नि त. अब if someone like हुन्छ नि मलाई आएर ओए क्या काली भनेर हाँस्न थाल्यो भने I'm not going to get offended. I'm going to judge that person for like हुन्छ नि using a physical attribute to judge me भनेर क्या. लाइक म त अहिले त लाइक त्यो maturity level भइसक्यो नि त. But for kids it's different क्या. For kids they haven't developed that maturity to actually put in place हुन्छ नि what is what भनेर क्या.
And as kids say we're always hunting for identity जस्तो नि हुन्छ क्या. बुझ्यो, लाइक तिमी को हो भनेर तिमीलाई नै थाहा हुँदैन, अनि यु जस्ट बिकम द पर्सन पिपल टेल यु आर खाले क्या. टु सम एक्सटेन्ट हुन्छ नि. लाइक अब दे टेल यु द्याट युआर भेरी, इफ दे टेल यु हुन्छ नि त एकदम बदमास रहेछस् भने भनेपछि then maybe you identify as हो र खाले.
Also I wanted to add up to what you were saying अघि त्यो रिलेटिभ्सहरू वाला कुरा हुन्छ नि, लाइक द मेसेजेस वी टेक हुन्छ नि, त्यो मेसेजेसहरू चाहिँ जो पाइ त्यहीले भन्यो भने मतलब लाग्दैन क्या. बट समन हु इज लाइक समन यु लुक अप टु हुन्छ नि, अब सपोज यो टिचर कम्स एन्ड टेल्स यु त यस्तो पढ्नै सक्दैनस्, त लाइक हुन्छ नि केही गरी खाँदैनस् खाले भन्यो भने चाहिँ देन द्याट बिकम्स अ प्रब्लम क्या. त्यसले चाहिँ देन इट लाइक पुट्स अ डेन्ट इन योर ब्रेन क्या. लाइक ओ फक यार म त कसमै केही गरेर खान सक्दिनँ कि खाले
makes you question
या
your self
लाइक
identity.
people you actually look up to के सो इट्स सो इम्पोर्टेन्ट हुन्छ नि लाइक टिचर्सहरूले द चोइस अफ वर्ड्स लाइक पेरेन्ट्सहरूको चोइस अफ वर्ड्स हुन्छ नि त्यसहरू चाहिँ द्याट रियली म्याटर्स
You can't always expect everybody to use the right words.
या अभियसली
Because that's something you can't control. Okay?
या होइन त्यो पनि अब आइडियलिस्टिक सोसाइटी नै हो कि
Oh.
त्यसैले दे से नि लाइक इट टेक्स अ इन्टायर भिलेज टु रेज अ चाइल्ड भन्छ नि
Uh-huh.
इट्स नट जस्ट लाइक घरमा क्या तिमीले हुन्छ नि यु गिभ यर किड्स द बेस्ट मोरल एडभाइसेस एथिक्सहरू सिकायो अरे एजुकेसन दियो अरे इट्स नट इनफ के दे गो आउट इन द वर्ल्ड अनि लाइक त्यस्तै फकटअप मान्छेहरू भेट्छ दे आर गन फक यु अप के
Mm-hmm.
अनि अब लाइक इट्स योर ड्युटी टु लाइक अनफक यर सेल्फ के
Yup. And the unfuck गर्नलाई चाहिँ then comes reflection, which is very important.
या आई थिङ्क इट कम्स विथ एज अनि लाइक हुन्छ नि
Experience.
या
Lived experiences. Because कति कुरा चाहिँ तिमीले जति सुकै पढे पनि बुझे पनि लाइक नभोगेजेलसम्म आई डोन्ट थिङ्क यु ट्रुली एक्सेप्टेड अप्रिसिएटेड
या
सो अलराइट देन अगेन कमिङ ब्याक टु हुन्छ नि लाइफमा अभियसली देयर थिङ्स द्याट यु क्यान कन्ट्रोल एन्ड थिङ्स द्याट यु कान्ट कन्ट्रोल सो लाइक हुन्छ नि विसिङ द्याट एभ्रीबडी युज द राइट वर्ड्स or everybody said the right things, you know. So it's like not everybody can do that, and even if they say the right things, you might take it the wrong way.
होइन एक्ज्याक्टली त्यो अरू मान्छेहरूको कुरै होइन क्या इट्स लाइक यु के यु हेभ टु लाइक थेरापी ओर लाइक सेल्फ रिफ्लेक्सन इज द लाइक वर्क द्याट यु डु विथ यर सेल्फ नि त सो कम्युनिकेसन पनि इट्स नट लाइक उसले चाहिँ मलाई यसरी भनेको भए हुन्थ्यो होइन क्या लाइक यु डु द्याट के so that you avoid like that kind of reaction from someone else ni ta so conflict haru bhayo or like if there's something you need to address timle afno side bata chai minimize garne ho ni you're not going to go and like huncha ni sab lai again sab Instagram if you want to ever talk to me this is how you should talk भनेर पुरा टेम्प्लेट दिएर बस्ने त हैन नि त you do that you lead by example and maybe like somewhere down the line you have that conversation with like if it's like a significant person in your life you have that conversation हुन्छ नि when you say यस्तो कुरा मलाई चाहिँ यस्तो feel हुन्छ
again that comes into play so most of the time say we wish we're like very unsatisfied with how the people that are important to us treat us it might be your parents, it might be your friends, it might be your partner, you know, and most of the time say we stay in our head like यस्तो गर्देको भए हुन्थ्यो हुन्छ नि this is what I expect from them and you have these expectations in your head, you know. Suppose like there's this example, okay, so you come from a long day from work and you're tired हुन्छ नि and you just need like a 5-minute break you know अनि तिम्रो दिमागमा चाहिँ त्यो चलिरहेछ so you go home and your husband or your wife they're home and they are so happy to see you at home that they want to do something हुन्छ नि आउने बित्तिकै they're full of energy to see you and they want to do something, maybe cook or go out or like do something, but like timlai you just need some time off, you know. Ani when you enter with a different energy and they are in a different energy, you know, and they would say unaharulai chai ab kasto huncha ni shit are they not interested in me, do they not want to spend time with me khale but timro लागि त you just need some time off ni ta because timro the long day at work bhacha timi अलिकति tired होला हैन. Then comes the miscommunication. Then in his head or her head who's coming from work, they're like why can't I just have like why can't he understand that I just need some time off? And then in his whoever's waiting unarko head ma is like why can't he be excited to see me? You know, why is he like this? And then comes like you have to like talk it out,
right?
And you have to tell them, sit down and tell them like मलाई चाहिँ कामबाट आएको बेला यस्तो यस्तो हुन्छ because you have to understand that people are dumb you have to understand that people are not going to read your mind.
People are dumb भन्दा नि exactly people can't read minds.
That's what I say again like हुन्छ नि I'm like dumb as fuck if you want something from me like tell me हुन्छ नि if there's something that you want me to change tell me if there's something that you would appreciate I do tell me you know that's like an adult way to go ahead with relationships you know. And they, okay, people can't read minds, people can't read what's in their head, So it's better that you हुन्छ नि like take this out from your head and like put it into words and like talk to people, which is a hard thing to do. Because most of the times we're afraid that त्यो भनेर पनि it's going to end up in fights or something like that.
Yeah, I think like this the conversations say I would personally choose those conversations very carefully, in a sense that I would only have that conversation with people who are like who mean something. Because like अब जो पाइ त्यहीलाई त गएर हुन्छ नि like भनेर त कामै छैन नि.
It also has to be like the other person has to be willing to understand as well. I know. So it has to go both ways. Obviously communication can't go single handed.
True.
तर एकजनाले इनिसिएटिभ लिए चाहिँ हुन्छ क्या. एकजनाले इनिसिएटिभ if you tell them, if you suppose हुन्छ नि, if you tell the husband or the wife who's waiting at home, if you tell them like मेरो चाहिँ अफिसमा it's like a long day, I'm like stressed, so when I come home if you can just like let me be for a while हुन्छ नि I'm going to be fine भनेर हुन्छ नि. If you tell them like that same thing like twice or thrice, they're going to understand.
If they don't understand, you can send this podcast episode to them. So they might understand. Maybe you can like pinpoint the time हुन्छ नि like यति बेलादेखि यति बेलासम्म चाहिँ सुन and then we have this conversation again भनेर.
Because at the end of the day like दुवैजना they're like हुन्छ नि longing for a better relationship त हो नि. It's not like
this is in a case where both of you guys are like want that relationship, not like one of them trying to escape खालेको फेरि.
Also त्यो भयो भने चाहिँ
that's a different story. But like we're talking about like miscommunications that happen in a राम्रै भइरहेको रिलेसनसिप्सहरू पनि क्या.
अनि त्यही त miscommunications किन हुन्छ नि, if you trace it down it's also the lack of communication. And communication किन lack हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि you've not really thought things through about what you want. अनि त्यसको लागि चाहिँ things like journaling, therapy हरू चाहिँ is really important. अनि like reflection क्या. So like journaling is a part of reflection. So like that's what we're coming at, like you need to spend some time alone to understand what you really want. Even in a relationship, what do you want? You know, you might be unsatisfied, तर तिमीलाई त्यो अनसेटिस्फ्याक्सनलाई सेटिस्फ्याक्सनलाई केले चाहिँ गर्छ भन्ने तिमीलाई थाहै हुँदैन क्या. You just feel this dissatisfaction, तर त्यो dissatisfaction कहाँबाट आइरहेछ पनि कतिलाई थाहा हुँदैन क्या. त्यसको लागि चाहिँ you need to just like हुन्छ नि spend some time with yourself.
And just like bluntly put it out there. Because it is what it is.
It is what it is.
If it's bothering you, then it's bothering you. You have to address it. So अर्को अब for me चाहिँ personally one of the revelations was like burnout and how म चाहिँ personally would take work as a coping mechanism. And that has sort of like helped me understand myself better भनौँ न in a way.
What do you mean? So तिमी outwork गरेर चाहिँ it's helped you understand yourself?
No.
Then?
Like therapy मा चाहिँ to sort of like understand the fact that I put value in my work भनेर चाहिँ क्या.
तिम्रो value, your self-worth is directly proportionate to the work you do.
अनि त्यसले गर्दा चाहिँ like I sort of like work a lot. होइन workaholic खालेको. अनि त्यो revelation-ले पनि it's sort of like helped me understand myself better. Okay?
So it's like the more work you do, the more productive you are, the more self-worth you have.
Yeah. I would feel better because I would feel like my self-worth is high. And it's so surprising because I never like thought of myself as a robot or like a workaholic. But like when I had this revelation and when I told you and like other like my other friends and they're like, yeah, like you've always been like this khale. Like your shit doesn't stink to you khale situation ke. मलाई चाहिँ like थाहा थिएन क्या म त्यति like हुन्छ नि, like I've been like so harsh on myself for like not performing well khale ke. So there's one thing, there's like working like अति workaholic भएर काम गर्यो and then like I will feel better, but it also goes the other way. नि त मैले कामै गर्न भने I feel low नि त. So like I would just be like म किन lazy भइरा, म किन procrastinate गरिरा, and त्यही frustration के. And like the fact that, and after realizing the fact that हुन्छ नि म चाहिँ अलि धेरै नै आफ्नो self worth काममा राख्छ भनेर बिलिभ आई मिन लाइक त्यो बुझेपछि चाहिँ आई सोर्ट अफ लाइक रियलाइज हुन्छ नि द्याट आई डोन्ट ह्याभ टु ग्राइन्ड 24/7 खालेको लाइक कामले मात्र मेरो सेल्फ वर्थ हुने होइन खाले कुरा के
बट त्यही त लाइक अगेन कमिङ ब्याक टु द हसल कल्चर एन्ड दिस इज द सेम थिङ हुन्छ नि लाइक इन टुडेज सोसाइटी अ क्यापिटलिस्टिक वे अफ थिङ्किङ इज लाइक हुन्छ नि द अमाउन्ट अफ भ्याल्यू मोनिटरी भ्याल्यू you earn or you provide, the more productive you are, the more higher place you have in society.
Yeah, I was having this conversation with my other workaholic friend, you know. अनि म just like भनिरहेको थिएँ and she's like, oh यार म पनि I relate खालेको and she's like, तर like this is नै सबभन्दा most rewarding नि त.
कस्तो?
Like putting your worth in your work is rewarding नि त. Measurable भन्दा पनि monetarily yes, होइन monetarily obviously yes, and then like सोसाइटीमा पनि क्या लाइक केही काम गरिरहेछ भने ओके खालेको दे गिभ यु द्याट लिवे खाले क्या लाइक कन्ट्रास्ट टु हुन्छ नि लाइक इफ आई पुट माई वर्थ अन लाइक आर्ट होइन तर लाइक जस्ट बिकज यु पुट इन अब लाइक सिचुएसनै त्यस्तै स्याड छ हुन्छ नि लाइक देयर आर सो मेनी आर्टिस्ट अन्डर रेटेड आर्टिस्ट वर लाइक सो गुड बट दे डोन्ट ह्याभ द्याट रेकग्नेसन खाले हुन्छ नि अनि त्यस्तोमा वर्थ राख्यो भने त इट्स नट भेरी रिवार्डिङ नि त लाइक पर्सनल सेटिस्फ्याक्सन भयो तर मोनिटरी छैन ओर लाइक त्यो रेकग्नेसन छैन खाले क्या
द्याट इज वान थिङ होइन बट आई फिल लाइक तिम्रो सेल्फ वर्थ क्यान अल्सो बी डिफाइन्ड बाई द रिलेसनसिप्स यु हेभ
या एक्ज्याक्टली डिफ्रेन्ट पिपल हेभ डिफ्रेन्ट वेज अफ मेजरिङ देयर सेल्फ वर्थ क्या तर वर्क चाहिँ इज मोर रिवार्डिङ मात्र भने क्या
अनि अहिले चाहिँ लाइक सेल्फ वर्थ इज डाइरेक्टली प्रोपोर्सनेट टु द वर्क यु डु खाले पनि छ क्या हुन्छ नि बिकज लाइक तिम्रो आइडेन्टिटी नै लाइक आजकल लाइक वेन एभर ओके लाइक कसैलाई इन्ट्रोड्युस गराउनु पऱ्यो इज लाइक दिस इज कृतिशा प्रजापति एन्ड सी डज दिस खाले हुन्छ क्या लाइक द्याट इज यर आइडेन्टिटी
द्याट इज मैले भन्न खोजा चाहिँ होइन सोसाइटीले चाहिँ लाइक एन्करेज गर्छ क्या वर्कमा भ्याल्यु राखेको आम नट सेङ हुन्छ नि लाइक आर्ट गरेर तिम्रो सेल्फ वर्थ डिफाइन गर्नु राम्रो होइन भन्न खोजे होइन क्या द्याट इज वर्क आई मिन द्याट इज एक्चुली मोर फुलफिलिङ क्या एक्चुली भन्यो भने आर्ट चाहिँ बिकज तिमी सेटिस्फाइड छौ नि त यु नट सिकिङ भ्यालिडेसन बाहिरबाट नि त
बट कान द्याट बी अल्सो लाइक द सेम सेटिस्फ्याक्सन कान द्याट बी विथ अब सपोज आर्टिस्टको काम आर्ट भयो होइन अनि अब मार्केटरको काम मार्केटिङ हुनसक्छ होइन सो दे क्यान फाइन्ड लाइक सेटिस्फ्याक्सन इन देयर ओन
बट लाइक त्यो अलिकति लाइक एक्सटर्नल पनि हो नि त बाहिरबाट नि भ्यालिडेसन चाहियो नि त
केसको लागि
लाइक अब सपोज म लाइक अब सेल्स पर्सन हो रे होइन सेल्स पर्सन नभनौँ ल मार्केटर नै भनौँ रे अब त्यो बाहिरबाट भ्यालिडेसन पाएपछि मात्र मैले मेरो भ्यालिडेसन पाउने
भयो सक्सेस रेट इज लाइक हुन्छ नि अब बाहिर हाउ द क्लाइन्ट्स
लाइक नम्बर्सले हुन्छ नि त
बट द्याट इज अल्सो विथ आर्ट नो
आर्ट त नो लाइक यु आर सेटिस्फाइड इफ यु मेक like if you like pour out your heart and make a piece ke like people don't have to love it ke you just did it and you're satisfied because timle je khoja thyo tyo bhayo ni ta so it's internal ke I feel like
it might not be the best example but I get it
yeah I guess so that is that tara aba ke bhancha going back to like burnouts and working खालेको हुन्छ नि I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be like productive 24/7 हुन्छ नि and we become too hard on ourselves for procrastinating and like not
just
having
taking a break
we just like become too harsh on ourselves for like not having the perfect outcome every single time ke like मेरो your revelation in therapy was like it came out because I was like working in different sectors हुन्छ नि 3-4 काम गरिरहेको थिएँ टन्नै काम गरिरहेको थिएँ अनि त्यसपछि like I was like expecting perfection in all 4, 5, 6, 7 areas that I was doing के अनि as I was talking about this to my therapist she was like these are like 5वटा काम नै 5वटा इन्डिभिजुअलले गर्न सक्ने कामहरू हो क्या अनि like you're doing it yourself so like तिमी एकजना मान्छेले 5जना काम गरिरहेको छ अनि you're looking for perfectionism in all 5 of them just like just tell me how that makes sense खाले के अनि त्यति बेला मात्र लाइक हिट भएको हो क्या लाइक हुन्छ नि okay म त like actually like I'm overburdening myself and I'm seeking for perfectionism हुन्छ नि so त्यसले गर्दा चाहिँ like then I realized I was being too hard on myself के but like where I'm getting at with this is like when we're like lazy, when we label ourselves as lazy or like I'm just like I always procrastinate khale, we never get to the root of it ke. Like because lazy hune pani like there are different reasons why you feel lazy ke. So I was like looking at it and apparently there are like 7-8 reasons why you are lazy ke.
Let's read through them.
So one of the first reason why you get lazy is because of fatigue ke. You're just tired ke. Because you're like constantly त्यही कुरा गरे for a long period of time. You're not a robot नि त, you're just human. अनि थाकिहाल्छ नि कहिलेकाहीँ अनि थाकेर you just like leave everything for some time and then the guilt comes to you के छ्या यार म त wild lazy रहेछ यार and then you become harsh on yourself खाले के.
मलाई यो fatigue र recovery को कुरा चाहिँ there's a lot of things in my life that directly translate from the gym. You know, only one thing I've understood is like when we were starting out workout garda theri चाहिँ we always like every single day gym जाने and every single day all out हान्ने के. But like पछि गएर बुझ्दाखेरि चाहिँ that's not the best thing you can do. You're actually like damaging your muscles and like हुन्छ नि that's you're just pushing your body to like के भन्ने injuries के हैन. अनि so then you realize like timro workouts and recovery are equally as important. हैन. So तिमीले जस्तै भने नि अब तिम्रो fatigue doing the same work over and over again and you need time to recover के. त्यो recovery मा अब let's take it as reflection. हुन्छ नि that is the time you sit down and like तिमीले गरेको कामहरु चाहिँ you reflect on it and then you can do better. So another एउटा छ नि like so त्यो axe so there's this story and maybe most people have already heard of it. So एकजना दुईजना lumberjackहरु हुन्छ रे के हैन. अनि so एकजना चाहिँ works for 8 hours straight हैन. And there was another person who works for like 4 hours. तर बिचमा 2 घण्टाको लागि ब्रेक मा जान्छ रे के. He works for 2 hours then goes to a break for another 2 hours and again comes back and like हुन्छ नि so basically works just 4 hours हैन. तर at the end of the day the guy who's working only 4 hours and taking a 2-hour break and like also finishing the job earlier is cutting more trees than the person who's doing it. And like let's say like how are you doing this one? So that he tells like हुन्छ नि first 2 hours I chop wood and then I take a break to go and sharpen my axe once again. You know? So then you have a higher productivity when you come back. But the same guy who's like chopping wood for throughout the day after like 2 hours like his axe is blunt. That's the same thing with fatigue. So if you're like working तिम्रो productivity नै घट्दै जान्छ अनि cuz तिमी जति higher जति बेरसम्म काम गर्यो you want your productivity to go up. तर तिमी fatigue भइसक्यो तिम्रो त्यो दिनी तिम्रो juices नै छैन and it's going down and it just makes you feel bad के मैले यति काम गरिरहेछु तर पनि I'm not getting the results भनेर.
And then you just like get into that spiral of हुन्छ नि like self blame or like हुन्छ नि why am I किन भइरा छैन भनेर you just get frustrated के. And you just like label yourself as lazy but like one of the reason can be fatigue. Like not taking enough breaks. And अनि अर्को reason चाहिँ is regret रे के. Regret of lost opportunities. So you sort of like doubt your ability to keep up with everyone else के. So यो कुरामा चाहिँ you're sort of like comparing yourself with others. अनि also मलाई चाहिँ यो regret वालामा चाहिँ के भयो भन्दाखेरि whenever we talk about regret I feel like it has to do with the time limit, time frame, time cap that we put on everything हुन्छ नि. Like by 20 I need to have this figured out, by 30 I need to have this figured out खालीको. अनि one day you just wake up and you realize हुन्छ नि ल I'm 29 but I haven't finished this खालीको. And then like हुन्छ नि you get like demotivated के. Like you regret हुन्छ नि मैले पहिला यस्तो किन गरेन and you just like त्यो demotivate भएर you just like stop working. अनि त्यो stop working वाला बेला चाहिँ and you're like fuck म यस्तो lazy भएर नै हो खालीको के.
And then again goes back to self-blame, self-hurt,
Yeah.
goes back into spirals.
So you sort of need to, like, not give yourself that time cap.
Mm-hmm.
Not compare yourself and like compare yourself to your past work.
Mm-hmm.
I know where you've been before and where you are now. त्यो पो हो त compare गर्ने.
Compare yourself with who you were yesterday and not who someone is today.
Okay.
This is from Jordan Peterson.
अर्को reason चाहिँ is social fear.
Mm-hmm. Fear of being judged.
Yeah, suppose if I try this out and if I fail, I'm going to be ashamed. Like, I'm going to be a laughing stock. I'm going to be a joke. खालेको feeling के.
And that is the problem with perfectionists. Like people want the kuraharu so perfect because it's also because of the fear of what other people will think.
Yeah.
They don't want to make any mistakes. They want to अब राम्ररी गर्नुपर्ने सबै कुरा 100% खाली. That's also due to the fear of judgment, due to the fear of it might not be on par with अरूहरूको कुरा खाली हुन्छ नि. And that is one of the reasons most people don't even start.
Yeah.
हैन?
That's true.
So again coming back to gym मा पनि हुन्छ नि, you see other people and they're already like somewhere, and they can be much fitter than you, much stronger than you, and then but you want to go to the gym, you want to get there, you know. So since you're already comparing yourself with them and you're like like you want to be perfect khali going in, and you just fear what other people will think and you don't start.
Right.
And then you again label yourself as lazy. You know,
going back to that spiral.
Yeah. It's the same thing with starting off anything. Be it a job, be it business, be it education, anything.
Yeah. This can be one of the roots why you feel like you're lazy. I know. Another is anxiety.
Yeah.
Anxiety of starting something new.
The anxiety also, like, mostly it stems from what other people think.
Anxiety is mostly living in the future.
Yup. What will happen?
Like our naya challenges and it's overwhelming. Like law, suppose if you're like planning to start a podcast, it's like law, like media, social media, recording, equipment, they're just like, it's like an entire world in itself, and it's just overwhelming. And it's sort of like that, too many things, it sort of like paralyzes you, and it sort of like restricts you from making any action. And then you're like, fuck, why am I so lazy?
So you already fear things that have yet to happen.
Yeah, you don't take the step.
Your fear, you don't take the step at all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you have to put this into perspective, it can be like, so there's this hike. It's like 4 hours long. When you've already like afraid that you don't take the first step at all.
Yeah.
Right.
So
again, like then you again label yourself as lazy, go back to the same spiral. Right, makes sense.
And another reason why you might be lazy is because you just don't like what you're doing. Suppose more like bank ma काम गरिरहेको छु रे, credit department ma काम गरिरहेको छु रे, अनि I just don't like the work there. हुन्छ नि, मलाई बन्नै छैन banker, but I'm there. So because I don't want to do it, you have this resistance to the work. Ani like it's just like अनि अरूहरुले पनि like हुन्छ नि कस्तो काम छलेको, अनि आफुलाई नि क्या like म lazy यार, म त अति wild lazy रहेछ यार. Because like going back to like the sedation that we talked about, like काम मन नलाई काम गर्यो, घर गयो, and you just like drink and sleep, or you watch like Netflix, like binge all night and you sleep and you go like हुन्छ नि, that makes you feel अलिकति better. You just like work 8 hours to go home and like watch Netflix and sleep. Until sedate garepachi, it gives you some energy, just enough to complete the day. And you repeat the same cycle again. But then you never really get that time to reflect and see that you actually don't like working there. You're not lazy. You're just like, it's just not your thing.
Most people spend their entire life not knowing. I think it's with I was reading this article about how Ivy League students are like kind of miserable,
depressed rate अलि high.
So how it is हुन्छ नि, so तिम्रो Ivy League मा पुग्नलाई चाहिँ there's just this narrow criteria that you have to fulfill एकदम high हुन्छ नि, there's narrow criteria of being academically एकदम outstanding अनि यताउति होइन. So that criteria बच्चैदेखि अब तिमीलाई सिकाइरहेको हुन्छ क्या, especially Asian householdsहरूमा होइन, like you have to like academically यस्तो मार्क्स ल्याउनुपर्छ, यहाँ गर्नुपर्छ.
यहाँ internship गर, यहाँ TA बन, यस्तो त्यस्तो.
Exactly. So there's a set rule of how you can accomplish that. होइन, the narrow कुरामा चाहिँ these Ivy League students they're like very good होइन. And so throughout their life that is what they chase, अनि त्यसपछि त्यसमा नै गऱ्यो. But once they get there, अनि just like हुन्छ नि, okay, Ivy League पनि उनीहरूको सिद्धि अरे कलेज होइन, अनि then like I mean they sit and realize like maybe this is not what I wanted होइन, maybe this is not, मैले त like I've been chasing this for so long that मैले अरू कुरा त कन्सिडरै गरेन हुन्छ नि, because to get to, because तिम्रो एउटा न्यारो अब त्यो एकाडेमिकली एउटा सब्जेक्टमा एक्सेल गर्नुपर्ने, you have, there's a lot of sacrifices to be made नि त. And throughout the life तिम्रो early years मा you've made so much sacrifices to get to that specific point that when you get there then you like actually have time to like sit and think and say like I got here होइन,
but this is not what I wanted,
this is not what I wanted,
this does not give me fulfillment.
So that can also be with work हुन्छ नि, with I know people going in like the army or like हुन्छ नि just something, अब suppose this might be true, might not be true होइन. अब suppose तिमीलाई चाहिँ तिम्रो mom, okay, तिम्रो dad is like गोर्खा आर्मीमा battalion-मा होइन, then you grow up, you want to be that खाले क्या, that's the only thing on your mind. And then तिमी 16-17 हुँदैसम्म like हुन्छ नि दौड्यो, full training गर्यो whatever, and you get into that होइन. And then त्यो पनि like exciting छ, तिमी ट्राभल गरिरहेको छ यताउति, तर मिडवे पुगेर क्या bro like what, like हुन्छ नि, like do I really want to do this, like I didn't even consider any other options हुन्छ नि. म के यार like I think like I'm like good at playing guitar, maybe I could write a song होइन, maybe I could, I don't know, like make movies, or like maybe I just like working in a bank, I don't want to go to the jungle every single day हुन्छ नि. So it's oftentimes say is that also okay, because you're always like so driven एउटा कुरामा, you don't have to like time to just sit back and like think, am I on the right track, am I like is this what I really want to do, or like is this what like हुन्छ नि मेरो बाउले गरे so म पनि गर्न ला हो कि, or is this like what society expects of me to go to Ivy League, so I'm just like getting good marks and like applying to the top universities. तर is this what I really want to do खाले क्या.
Agreed. त्यस्तो हुन्छ यार.
I think that's like my biggest fear in life. It's like alright, म गरे रे हुन्छ नि, I get to a point and then like I look back and bro like how did I even get here, like why am I even here खाले क्या. That is my biggest fear in life, man.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think you've mentioned this before also.
Yep.
अर्को reason why like people label themselves as lazy is because they've had that message क्या. अब all of these reasons भयो नि त, like fatigue भयो, like you're not doing the work that you actually want to do, you're doing things that you don't want to do, and you're just like हुन्छ नि postponing the work, and people come and tell you हुन्छ नि
you're lazy,
कस्तो काम चलेको, कस्तो lazy खालेको, and you internalize that के. And then you label yourself as lazy, and because you label yourself as lazy, you don't do any work, you get nothing done, and then again going into that cycle के. So this is like
being lazy, I mean, because you've been unproductive, that leads to you like हुन्छ नि questioning your self-worth, that leads to you being depressed, that leads to you being like lazy again, then it becomes a cycle. Okay?
Yeah. So that's that. It's like some of the reasons why you might be lazy and is something you might want to consider. Yeah. So like I think when you label yourself like this, म lazy, म अति नै procrastinate गर्छु, म productive छैन खाले, maybe you should consider like asking yourself, why am I lazy, or like why am I feeling this way?
Why am I feeling this way, and like try to trace it back to the root cause of where the feeling is coming from.
Yeah.
And I think this is also like an exercise. It's not like a one-time thing. Like the more you do it, the better you get at it. Okay?
Yeah, that's
so if
true.
you if you begin just sitting down and it's like, all right, like मलाई यो कुराले चाहिँ अपसेट भइरहेछ है हुन्छ नि, सपोज लाइक somebody called you काली or like somebody called you fat or like whatever हुन्छ नि, अनि तिमीलाई त्यसले हर्ट भयो होइन, then you sit back and like why am I valuing their opinions, you know, there's like why does this make me feel bad, you know, then you sit back and start doing that, then you'll feel like maybe because it is because maybe I don't fit into the society's version of beauty or like or maybe like I am not happy with how I look like maybe it is because I perceive myself as not good enough then once you start doing that you can do that with everything else and then you get better at like going to the your feelings
can trace it back
and that becomes the exercise and you can get better at it. It's like any other thing, the more you do it the more better you get at it.
Yeah, that's true. I think like it's self reflection is quite important, especially in early age.
Yep,
especially in early age.
Yeah, in your 20s.
Yeah, in your 20s, like any time.
Are you talking about early day and age ki early age?
Early day and age.
Yeah. Yep.
Like I'm referring to,
especially because like you're just bombarded with like because we live in a age of comparison.
Comparison one thing, and we're like bombarded by like billion-dollar companies who are like trying to get your attention span, and you're just like not left with any time for yourself for like self-reflection.
Exactly, like you're not alone, like you're not truly with your thoughts ever हुन्छ नि, तिमी 5 minute टोयलेट जाँदाखेरि पनि you have your phone with yourself के हुन्छ नि, even if you're waiting you're like on your phone, even if you're like doing anything हुन्छ नि, अलिकति time even if you have alone you're just like occupied by TikTok or Facebook or YouTube or anything के.
That's so यार, म त like जाममा बस्दाखेरि पनि like हुन्छ नि phone.
म पनि एकछिन जाम भयो भने पनि I'm like notification or like हेरिहाल्नु पर्ने के.
Yeah, अनि like honestly you can't really compete with these companies because they're like backed with research and so they're spending their money on how to steal your attention ke. And you can't really हुन्छ नि compete ke.
I'm very like you can't even not like completely avoid them at all because तिम्रो half of the work is now on social media.
Yeah, but like हुन्छ नि you have to get some time to sit with your emotions and with your feelings. Okay?
So this thing, I was listening to another podcast, you know. This much the guest tells the host. So one way to do this is just like you assign time to meet people. Meeting go like time suppose like okay 10:30 to 11:30. This is what I have to do. There's this set time, you know. The same way you assign time for yourself.
Right.
Put that in your calendar.
Yeah.
Like 10 minutes or 15 minutes or no. Like just do that. So once you start, you'll be like, you have this time. Okay. Then you'll be like, okay, now I have 30 minutes for myself. What am I gonna do? First it was like, but then like once you start thinking, then you can then figure out type so you can utilize that time to just like reflect on things or like maybe do things that you like doing.
Yeah, when you said that last time म त क्या like हुन्छ नि क्या foreign नयाँ concept जस्तो feel भइरहेको के, like हुन्छ नि yeah, like I can actually like
assign time for myself.
Yeah, like set a meeting with myself भनेर like I did try it out तिमीले भनेपछि like when you said that पहिला, अनि yeah man, it's sort of like मलाई त त्यो concept नै क्या liberating लागिदिरहेको के फर्स्टमा सुन्दाखेरि, अनि I think yeah, त्यो चाहिन्छ यार.
Just like you value others' time and you set specific meetings, you can do the same with yourself.
Yeah, you have to value your time as well. Like त्यो चाहिने रहेछ के, because like मलाई चाहिँ like यो हुन्छ नि about reflection and about knowing yourself चाहिँ like I think I've mentioned this पहिला पनि होला, but like from Yuval Noah Harari, like उसको book Sapiens मा हुन्छ नि, he's a historian and he's like, you know, talked about all of this like hamro homo sapiens ko nai like history and all of that, and he, because he's like read so much on the history, he's also like talking about the future. Okay,
yep.
अब ये species ke like future khali huncha ni, and he talks about AI also, okay, artificial intelligence huncha ni, how it will come in between you and yourself खाले के so एउटा specific example दिने चाहिँ उसले like most of the talk shows अनि उसको bookमा mention गरेको is like Coke and Pepsi को के so these companies are like हुन्छ नि spending so much on research and getting
data
to
collection.
getting you to buy their product ni ta so there might come a time where they're like the AI is so strong that unarle timro like huncha ni your pupil dilate bhako nabhako bata नै they can figure out if you're gay or not ke so if I'm like attracted to women you know if I'm a lesbian if I'm gay like मैले चाहिँ like अब I will prefer an ad where I see a girl okay not an ad where there's a guy like
that does not stimulate you
because it does not stimulate
but
me
the
you know?
companies know this
the company knows that before me okay before I know that I'm attracted to women the company will know that I am gay भनेर के अनि त्यसपछि they'll show me त्यही ad हैन like they'll show me त्यही targeted ad अनि उनीहरुको त sales up हुन्छ अनि like that's so terrifying to me के as a person that you like company that I don't even know of हुन्छ नि the company like जसले चाहिँ काम गरिरहेछ that I haven't even met they know things about me more before I do okay so like AI लाई like it's gonna happen whether you like it or not it's happening already I know but like the best way to like sort of like be safe भन्दा पनि like just to like
be aware
be at par with them is to like reflect and know yourself okay so उसले चाहिँ त्यही नै भन्छ so like you guys have to like meditate or like हुन्छ नि have time for yourself to like internalize हुन्छ नि to reflect
also okay thing about it exactly why it's important to reflect is to understand yourself हुन्छ नि understand what you want exactly
before someone else does okay because like just imagine हैन अब एउटा like game आयो रे like board game अहिलेको हुन्छ नि like game आयो रे and like that tells you what you are before you know okay like suppose एउटा social gathering मा छ रे अनि त्यो गेमले चाहिँ रिभिल गरे रे that I'm gay भनेर अनि that is before I came out to my friends or like before I am in terms with my sexuality हुन्छ नि that will just be like so terrifying okay so it's like important for you to like reflect spend time with yourself and know yourself okay?
Again so if you don't do the reflection work then again like just like your huge companies influence your decisions it's like kun चाहिँ decision is yours and kun चाहिँ is not मैले भने that's like the biggest fear okay like is it that I want to go to a university and study this or is it that people expect me to go to the university that's why I want to have that validation and this that हुन्छ नि are like my decisions highly influenced by external factors is that why I'm making the decision or am I making the decision because I want to
I think that creates like हुन्छ नि त्यो friction of like friction भन्दा नि it sort of like frustrates you के that might be exactly what you want but because if it's not coming from within it's coming from externally it just doesn't sit right with you के अब ठिक छ मलाई नि लाइक त्यो हुन्छ नि if I'm like a lesbian and मलाई त्यही केटीको नै like देखाए भने पनि ल okay I am attracted to it रे तर because I am not in terms with my sexuality yet it just frustrates me के and you're just like mind fucked
is there more that we have to touch upon in this episode
I think अलि हेभी नै भइसक्यो जस्तो लाग्यो आजको
that I think there's one thing that I wanted to mention Austin I think we were talking about this it's like we have this concept of in your 20s you have to build aimlessly just work जे काम गरे पनि जस्ट काम चाहिँ गर्नुपर्छ हुन्छ नि you have to reach to that like एउटा point खाले again this comes back to the same हुन्छ नि just keep walking जता गए पनि बाल्छ नि just like keep walking खाले के तर like I don't know अहिलेको the time we took off हुन्छ नि अनि also with like the pandemic अनि that also gave us a lot of time to reflect हैन अनि म अहिले चाहिँ आएर 20s मा चाहिँ because if you like the same thing मैले भने नि अघिको Ivy League स्टुडेन्ट्सहरु होस् or like work wise होस् any wise के you keep and you like society को expectation fulfill गर्नु होस् कि like हुन्छ नि त्यो गर्नु होस् 30s मा गएर I've seen so many people just like break down completely हुन्छ नि because like they work their asses off throughout their 20s early 30s whatever तर एउटा पोइन्टमा गएपछि like हुन्छ नि मलाई ब्याङ्कमा काम गर्ने छैन म यहाँ कसरी पुगेँ हुन्छ नि मलाई अस्ट्रेलिया बस्ने छैन म यहाँ कसरी पुगेँ हुन्छ मलाई त म त ठिक थिएँ त ब्रो त्यही खाले हुन्छ नि like there comes the point where people like how did I even get here? This is not exactly what I want to do, but they're stuck in that loop for so long and like हुन्छ नि it's again hard to
them down खाले.
So मलाई अहिलेको realization obviously this is coming from a point of privilege but हुन्छ नि I think 20s is the time to explore and like figure out what you want because हामी चाहिँ we're always in this competitive race क्या हुन्छ नि तिमीले अरू नै कुरामा you're doing well suppose you are in a university Ivy League you're doing a masters हैन अनि then you're in this rush मेरो साथीले त मास्टर्स गरिरहेछ म like I'm like what am I doing खाले के हुन्छ नि but then on the other hand she might be doing masters and the masters गरेपछि why did I do this masters खाले पनि हुन सक्छ नि त हैन so I feel like better than doing that it is like if you figure out in your 20s what you like doing what you don't like doing हैन then maybe like you can start ढिलै स्टार्ट गरे पनि राइट पाथमा
फुलफिल्ड
राइट पाथमा के हुन्छ नि तिमीले 30 वर्ष 35 वर्षसम्म रङ पाथ हिँडेर त्यो पाथ तिमीलाई जानै थिएन तर तिमी त्यहाँ पुग्नुभन्दा 20s मा अलिकति फिगर आउट गरेर चाहिँ होइन तिमीले 7-8वटा कुरा ट्राई गरेर चाहिँ कुन चाहिँ तिमीलाई मनपर्छ त्यहाँतिर चाहिँ तिमी गऱ्यो भने मेबी इभन इफ यु स्टार्ट लेटर इन लाइफ यु गोना रिच अ बेटर प्लेस जस्तो लाग्छ क्या अनि फेरि like figuring out what you like is a very hard thing you know and like one of the most profound suggestions that I've gotten in my life is from Angshita Di. She's been on the podcast, you can check out her episode as well. So she told me that like if you can't figure out what you like doing you can figure out what you don't like doing you know so that's the way to go. So what you can do is like explore different things that you want to do. You don't have to be perfect at it, you just have to do it. You know? Explore if you want to do a podcast, explore doing a podcast. If you want to work in a bank, explore working in a bank. Then you will figure out, do I like working in a bank? If the answer is no, then
switch.
Then take like cross that out, then you can do another thing, you know. So explore what you like or don't like doing. Then like, eventually maybe you'll like stumble upon something. This is what gives me fulfillment. You know? So telling stories, talking, conversations, or like just like creating products, selling products, or like you know you will like somehow cross out garda you will stumble upon something that maybe that gives you fulfillment. And even if that's later in life. Even if तिमीले आफ्नो 20s हरू full you've spent on experimenting different things, but like when you stumble upon that thing that you really like doing, that will be like a bigger accomplishment than working for 10 years being unsatisfied. Okay?
That's true.
So yeah, reflect in your 20s and understand yourself better so that you have a fulfilled life later on.
Bro, have you
nah man
have you found yourself
nah man
पुरा सावधानले ज्ञान बाट्निरहने okay bro like so what gives you fulfillment गाह्रो छ. I think like we're all in the same boat.
Yeah, it's all like work in progress. It's just like you have these thoughts and you know like maybe this makes sense to people, maybe it does not. Early summer I'm like still on the path of just like exploring and like trying out different things, seeing what works for me, what does not. But I think the reflection podcast was something that gave us fulfillment. And that's why we're back. Connecting all the dots. At least
I think we forgot to mention our new set. This is at Musicology.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Sanjay Dai, for giving us this space where we can like record our podcast.
Yes.
So shout out to Musicology. We will link the location and I think they have Instagram and all also.
Yeah, everything. So please do come here and check out the place. It's a lovely, amazing place, and the burger is really good. The sliders are really good, and it's just an overall chill place to hang out.
Yeah.
So please do drop by.
Yeah.
And I think today we've been a heavy episode and we talked about a lot of things. And this has been a long time coming after 5-6 months.
क्या like हल्का podcast गर्न बिर्छ जस्तो अलिअलि feel भइरहेछ, but we'll sharpen our X.
Yeah. Yep. We will.
बिस्तारै.
So I would say we're planning a lot of new things. So please, if you haven't subscribed yet, do subscribe and support the channel and stay tuned for more intriguing, thought-provoking conversations ahead.
Yes. So give us a thumbs up, share this with your friends, and share this on social media maybe. And for everyone who reached out to us while we were gone, like kaile aunछ next podcast khaleko, thank you so much. It's I think because of your love and your के भन्ने acknowledgement we actually got the courage to like start again and all of that. So thank you so much. Keep supporting us and we will see you in the next episode. Bye.